as a life philosophy, it's great to be devoid of judgment. I think Mr. Nasiruddin Shah, he is the most real, as real as it gets. Irfan, enjoy and relish in the film. All of that food was highly inedible. मजबूर क्या कीजिए.
So Nimrat, you look as we know you, all that fresh, organic. It quite goes with what we, the whole theme of the podcast series we are doing is Beyond the Judgment. First, I want to know your reaction. How does this word resonate with you, this thought? Because you're one of those people we've been scouting out. Who do we look at in the whole celebrated world where we say she goes beyond the judgment? How do you look at it?
I think it's a great title, actually. It's very thought-provoking. It isn't just, like a catchphrase. I think it's really cool. And I think that should exist as a philosophy in life, not just, towards celebrities or actors. I think as a life philosophy, it's great to be devoid of judgments and, just kind of keep your energy clean. And accept people for who they are and not worry about what people think about you. So I think it's great.
How has your journey been, Nimrat, when we talk about, let's start with the acting career only. I think some of your blockbuster hits just, woke up the audience like anything. You were performing great right from the beginning of your career, improving every day. As we say, an artist always grows with every project they do. But Lunchbox ho, ya Airlift ho, those just brought out like everybody was like, oh, Nimrat Kaur, have you seen her like that? So how do you look at that reaction in your career? Like for you, how were these big achievement, or it was part of your journey as a whole?
Well, in hindsight, everything feels amazing. All the high points are great blessings, and I'm very grateful for everything.
Yeah.
And I know how hard I have worked, and the obstacles I've overcome, or the voices that have encouraged me. Everything has played a part in where I am.
Wow.
So it all feels great. I feel very grateful for where I am. I get to speak to lovely people. I get to meet amazing people. I get to work with some of the best in the country and abroad. So it's a really great time. I feel like I'm living my best life.
But was it difficult, Nimrat, for people opinion changing on the way you grew? Like, did you see that the same, you might be the same or not, but people opinion change with your success or the box office hit or whatever, the performance applauded by someone?
Well, people is like it's too big an umbrella, I think there's either my loved ones, or then there are people who are, familiar with the Nimrat they watch on screen.
Yeah.
And the parts that I have portrayed, they know me from there. So those opinions matter for a different reason, and the people around me, their opinions matter, and I factor them in a different way. So as my professional life progressed, and one has grown with time, both personally and professionally, the only thing that I have noticed is that people with their own personal insecurities or their own instabilities or emotional inability to keep up with someone next to you moving in a certain direction, only those people have not been able to somewhere maybe keep up with friendships or other kinds of relationships. But otherwise, I feel like I've mostly always been surrounded by people who have encouraged me, loved me for who I am, given wind to my sails, told me that there is nothing I can't do unless I put my mind to it, unless I don't want to do it. So I've always been surrounded by very, very encouraging and strengthening voices.
But what was that point in your career, Nimrat, if I have to ask, or your life? not just limiting it to career. Life is much bigger than
Yeah,
the career and role you play.
of
But
course.
was there a point in your life that you realized the self-power? Like everybody grows in that nervousness. You feel like, okay, am I doing good? I need that confirmation, validation. Was there a point that the self-power arose in you that now Nimrat felt like, I know what I want to do, how to do, I know it now?
I don't think there's that one moment, I'll be very honest. I don't think there's that one moment where you wake up and you decide, or you go through something and you decide. I think consistency and showing up, that is what gives you the quiet strength. And that is what kind of makes your building blocks unshakable. It is showing up again and again and again and again. It's that resilience. It's that, a never give up attitude. I think that is what I would attribute, being where anyone is to. I think that if you ask anyone in the world, in any profession where they've endured hardships and, gone through trials and tribulations, professionally, personally, in any way, I think it's about showing up. It could be a workout you show up for. It could be getting out of the bed. It could just be making your bed, making your cup of tea, going about your routine, going about your life, recognizing that you don't need anyone to come and save you, because everyone's got their own saving to do, quite honestly.
So, to dig out specific stories from your journey, we have this segment called Tell Us Your Story Beyond Judgment. So I'll give you quick places and situation, and you tell us, what was the most stereotyped notion that you broke in your life to achieve success? Most stereotyped.
Well, I don't, may I just say that I don't think I've achieved success. I think it's an ongoing process. It's a work in progress. But I will say that I used to be an advertising model. Okay. So I've done a whole bunch of ads. And I was told for the bigger part of my working life at that time that I can't play and a simple Indian girl because I'm too urban and I'm too anglicized and my face looks a certain way. And then the lunchbox happened, and then everybody was like, "Oh, so that was a stereotype that broke away from what I was perceived as, only to create another stereotype, which was, that
now you're meant for housewife.
This. Now, then later on, I was meant for that. And
but then this is so contradicting. This is so contradicting.
I mean, that's the fun of stereotypes, because if they don't come up, then what are you going to challenge? I love stereotypes because it's really fun to keep breaking them. They're like little hurdles, little obstacle courses in your workout of the day.
Yeah, so you broke one and they created another one for you. That's so
cool. I really enjoy that. I think it's really fun because it means that you did your job well. Now it's time to undo that and do something well enough for them to forget that and then, hold on to this.
I think you just didn't break a stereotype. You set a new standard for artists to come out and prove their work. But when was the last time you spoke your mind with no filters?
Just at breakfast with my hair and makeup. Yeah, we were just talking about, life and work days. And I'm quite infamous for speaking my mind out. I just choose where and when. I make sure that it's not in an environment which will be hostile or, judgmental or, where one would be misunderstood. But I love being in spaces. It nourishes me to be able to speak my heart and mind out.
I doubt if there's a place where there's no judgment. I would like to go beyond that space if there is one.
No, I think there are some safe spots. Yeah. I think we do have. Even if you have one, it's enough. You know what I'm saying?
I think then you're quite satisfied with one. How difficult was it to say no to an opportunity to protect your values? Have you ever been in that situation? You had to say
never, ever. I've never had a difficulty saying no to something where I don't want to do it. Never. I've never had a hard time saying no because I'm very clear about what I don't want to do in life. It comes to me very naturally. It's not a struggle. I may have a hard time deciding what I want to do sometimes, but I never have a hard time deciding what I don't want to do. It's an instinct. You just have to listen to it. It's an inborn thing. It's within my machinery. I don't have to dig too deep at all. So it's never been.
I think it's very rare. I mean, we can't do that even now, but if you say that works, it's so
No, for me,
real.
it's actually something from childhood. I've always known what I don't want.
Oh, wow.
It's another story. Sometimes I take forever to decide what I want to do, but
So
but,
that's the way to success we give it away from you, that you should know what you don't want if you don't know what you want.
yeah, I think that clarity really automatically drives you towards what all you can and want to do, you know.
Yeah.
The clarity of what you don't want to do should be there.
Should be.
I think it works for me.
You know, as you said, naturally, let's have this one more fun segment where we want to know the natural side of you. Is who is the most real person in the industry you've met? You want to give out names, you can.
I think Mr. Naseeruddin Shah.
Wow.
Yeah, he is the most real as it gets. He'll say what he feels, and I've had the great opportunity to interact with him a few times, and I've done a few workshops with him, theater workshops.
Yes.
So he speaks his mind unabashedly.
I think people get intimidated of his intellect often. But I think that's
a fun thing too. I mean, to be in the presence of somebody with his intellect and his expertise in the subject, it's really fun to be around. Actually, he's really fun.
Most natural thing that you use for your healthcare?
With vitamin E oil. So vitamin E capsules, you snip them. Yeah. And that oil, if you just, dab it on your face in the night, it does wonders. It's really good.
People pop it in also. I had done for a long period of my years when I didn't know if it has a side effect. But yeah, we just take that pill instead of just applying.
To put it on the face?
No, I used to have them. I used to think it
works
that way. You can, right? Those capsules are not...
Yeah.
You can.
I mean, they're your Evian, right? Your usual vitamin E capsules. Yeah, they are to be consumed.
Yes.
But if you just snip them and if you use that oil to dab it on your face and your neck in the night, it's very nice.
It's amazing. What is the most organic food product you want to go around for your food regimen or your health diet? Anything that is naturally there that you always cannot do without?
I always carry good with me, like as organic good, straight from the farm, from this, as directly from the source as possible.
Wow.
I always carry good because I love good jaggery in my tea. I feel like it keeps the throat clear and, it's a great source of iron.
Yeah.
And I love the taste.
So basically it's no sugar, but gur works as a no added sugar.
Yes. Yes. Indeed.
Now we have this very interesting thing. Now, we are talking about being judged and going beyond the judgment space where we all live in. How do you judge a person's talent? Very, very short, brief, if you can tell me.
How do I judge a person's talent? Yeah. By their sensitivity. I feel like a desensitized person can't be talented. You have to be sensitive in order for you to be talented, I feel.
Wow. A person's style, how do you judge their style?
Originality.
Wow.
And not trying to be an authenticity, not trying to be something else or someone else.
Their attitude, how do you judge their attitude?
With their manner and watching them around people they don't need to be good to. We all have people we need to be good to because, they are employing us or they are older or they are whatever else, people that we don't need to be good to. For instance, people who work for us, the guy who opens the door, your watchman, your lift guy, your driver, your staff, your help, anyone on the road that you don't have to be good to. I watch people, and I feel like there's a lot that, you can.
And how do you judge the wisdom in a person? Because everybody claims I'm wise.
By the way they deal with an adverse situation. Okay. And when you are at your worst, how you behave is how wise you are. I feel. I mean, wisdom. I mean, it's incredible to see some people sometimes, be centered and calm and relaxed and not lose their temper and all of that. When things go haywire. So I attach wisdom to being able to anchor yourself when the tide isn't with you in your favor.
That's a very deep and a different thought process, but Really interesting to know that. One segment we have, this is the last segment since we are on Beyond the Judgment. Now, we had done a survey very quickly, and we want to see whether you go close to the survey with your answer. So it's very simple. What is judged more in our society? So we have done our survey. You just tell us in percentage, in a percentage mark of 100%. So women body is judged more or women clothes?
I think bodies.
Well, how much percentage you think? I could take it.
I feel on a scale of 1 to 10.
100%. Like
100. I think maybe 95% of the times women's bodies are judged.
Wow, more than the women clothes what they wear.
More than the clothes? Yeah, maybe, yeah.
But you're close to it. The survey says 70% judge women body and 30% do judge women clothes. Yeah. The second is choice of the career to the success in the career. What is judged more? What career you chose or how much success you got in the career you chose?
I think success. And I think maybe 80%.
True that. That's so close. 75% of people do judge the success and the career choice. Choice of the role in your industry you take or the banner or the production house with which you work. What is judged more?
By whom? By the audience?
By the audience, yeah. What role you pick? Like, oh, she's coming in this banner or she's doing this role. You've done both. You've been part of both. So,
so I think this is a bit subjective. Depends on, where one's at in their career.
Okay.
A banner means nothing if you are not relevant, and a role can define your... I mean, it's a bit tricky, but I think I'll go with the banner. I think people nowadays really are very banner conscious.
You are doing it well. 70% of people go with that.
I was going to say 75-80%.
True that. Yeah. This is the second last one for you. Being single in our society for mediocrity space, I'm saying, is judged more, or being in relationship? Are you judged if you're single, or you're in a relation, then you're judged?
I think you're judged if you're single. I think people judge single. Kuch to gadbad hogi. Kuch to problem hai.
I don't think I should play this with you again. You're right. It's 60% of them.
70%. There you go.
And the last one, if you're judged more, if you have more weight on you, you're plump and healthy or fat, or if you're too skinny, then you're judged more, because both the categories have come to.
I think people who are heavier set have a harder time, unfortunately. Yeah. Neither should, but I think our society is more unforgiving to people who have a heavier set body.
Bang on, with 4 of that going in your favor, Nimrat. Yeah. Before I let you go, there's very interesting and deep talk that I wanted to do. This came from the audience to ask you, and that is more about asking you about the whole judgment when it comes to what women should do, how they should look, how they should appear. I think there was a controversy around some public conversation you made, which was your own opinion. How do you look at the space for women, especially going through? Because there's a fight, give equal treatment, which is not possible. Should women be allowed to do what they want? Do you think there's a line to be drawn, or we should just be the way we are?
I think no one is entitled to or in a place to allow anyone anything. I think we allow ourselves what we do. How we treat ourselves, how we treat people around us is what we allow. As a girl, I don't think anyone apart from me should decide what I should look like, or what I should wear, or what I should or should not do. I think I must make informed and sensible and reasonable decisions for where I want to see myself. The risks I take, anything and everything I want to do should be up to me and nobody else. As an adult, I'm not including children here because they need guidance and parental help and but I think as adults, I feel like girls should do whatever they want to do, make their mistakes, learn from them, take all the risks, live their life just like any other boy, would be able to.
Before I have to let you go, I would like you to share some moment or anecdote, if you can, with your experience in Lunchbox. People relate a lot with your work there. And can you share, because in the memory of Mr. Khan also, is there a moment you want to share?
Well, I'll share something fun from, from the Lunchbox, that all the lovely food you all saw me make and, the great Irfan enjoy and relish in the film. All of that food was highly inedible because in order for the food to look good, it has to be raw and crunchy, because cooked food, it just kind of settles and it doesn't look very good on screen.
Yeah.
And a lot of that food was absolutely inedible because they put a certain substance on the food for it to steam, and all that steam and all that beautiful vapor and all that you see coming out of the food, a lot of it is completely inedible.
Wow.
So don't try that.
Nimrat, you are very food and health conscious. We know that about you. Very health conscious, very fitness freak. What is your mantra? Is there a message you have? Because in the new age, we all look for after COVID. How do we stay healthy? We try everything.
I think eat what your grandmother ate. I feel like that philosophy doesn't go wrong anywhere in the world for anyone. Make your decisions based on where you come from and where you live, not on diet fads and this is in and now this is a superfood and all of that. I don't really believe in that. I feel like you should not deprive yourself or load yourself with stuff that doesn't form as a day-to-day part of your life.
Okay.
Stay close to things that are easily locally available. They are easily procurable. I think there is nothing better than giving yourself a treat once in a while, enjoying what you grew up eating, and staying on the just staying on the conservative side in terms of not experimenting too much. Your digestion really rules everything in your life. I mean, if you follow Ayurveda in any way, you'll know that everything begins and ends with digestion.
Yes.
So it's very important to not take that for granted and to not abuse your digestive system. It's slightly technical, but
really shows your fitness mantra there. Leave us with a thought beyond the judgment. What is Nimrat's thought or a message for the world to grow beyond the judgment? Is there a thought you would love to?
I think there is no better way of life than to strip yourself of all kinds of judgment, and that should begin with you. Don't judge yourself and don't be hard on yourself. Let yourself live life to the fullest, because this is the only one chance, one shot we've got in this physical form to enjoy the energy beings that we are. So live your life to the fullest, enjoy everything that comes your way, and take risks. It's really worth it.
I hope we see you in entrepreneur world also soon. Nimrat, do you like music? Do you sing? So all our guests have always maintained to leave us with one thing. We just make sure that they sing and leave us with that light note. Do you have a song?
Oh, why don't you tell me and I'll try to sing. I have a bit of a bad throat. So
something that you relate to in your life today.
Relate to my life today. God, it's all kinds of songs that have all kinds of cuss words, so I won't really.
So something which is your favorite and you would like to share it with us.
Okay, I'll sing this song. It's very nice. Okay, I'll try and sing 2 lines. I may have forgotten the lyrics, but I'll go. फिर ले आया दिल मजबूर क्या कीजिए रास ना आया रहना दूर क्या कीजिए दिल कह रहा है उसे मुकम्मल कर भी आओ वो जो अधूरी सी बात बाकी है वो जो अधूरी सी बात बाकी है
Wow, I didn't know you sing so well. I didn't want you to stop. I wish I had not had conversation, just had this thing. Oh my God, beautiful. You should get in there. I don't know if you started recording or not. Please, we request you for the next film, do sing your songs. Beautiful, Nimrat, as beautiful as you are. Thank you so much for your time. We would love to meet you in person soon in Bombay. It was a pleasure.
Yes.
And
God
thanks
willing,
to
it
your
was my
team for bringing this together. We'll be putting this through together when we do all of the women, and we'll bring it all back to back release and share with
love.
your team. And thank you so much.
Thank you so
I loved your singing. I wish I'd started off with
much.
so beautiful. Thank you so much.
Next
Thanks
time.
for your time. Pleasure meeting you.
Very sweet. Thank you. It was my pleasure. Have a lovely evening. Bye.
Thank you so much.